But yeah, yo, so like the fact that obviously you have to take this medication for the time being, but it's like, what do you feel that it does, like to you, like good
I
and
don't
bad?
it just feels different. Like everything feels different. Like my reality feels a lot different. I don't know if that's part and parcel of the fucking like head injury and whatnot or whatever else. Or, you know, I honestly don't know. It's the only way I can just say it is I just feel different. Like I don't feel like I normally do. But it's
Okay.
it is what it is, man. Like it's something I just gotta rock with for the time being, and I hope to God I don't have to take it any longer than like what I'm taking it for. You know what I mean?
No,
But
100%.
who knows?
And that's the thing, man. It's like it's tricky because if you get into a headspace where you're not feeling like yourself, that's the only thing that is it's like, yeah, like we gotta try to alter that, because it's like it sucks that people get put on these medications. Like I was watching the movie, you may have seen it, you may not have seen it. That movie Glass with Samuel L. Jackson and James McAvoy and Bruce Willis. Yeah, bro. Like, and it's just the fact that I know it's like a movie and like fiction or however you want to look at it, but it's like there's a lot of reality in these movies where it's like, all right, not to say medication is not supposed to assist you or get you better, but it's like it sucks that medication is different than like an antidote, so to speak, or a cure, or you know what I mean? Like that's the only thing that sucks, because it's like you want to try to get rid of that problem completely. So if you have to take the medication to, in the movie they had to basically keep their superpowers and shit down. So they were putting like certain like in a facility where it's like, yo, y'all cannot have superpowers, so to speak. And it's like it makes you think, like in the sense of like our reality, where it's like if ever we have to take medication or whatever, it's like you're almost like bringing down somebody's superpower, so to speak. Like you're hindering their way of thought. Like you expressing that, it kind of makes you feel different. Like what happens if that's making you not operate at your full potential? You know what I mean? Like
Definitely
though it
not.
is,
I can say that.
you know what I mean? And it sucks because it's like it's supposed to assist you as far as to help prevent future head like whether it's like seizure or anything. It's supposed to help in as far as preventing that, but at the same time it's like, what happens if you went through your experience and then you're not going to have that happen again? Like, you know what I mean? But you're on this medication for however long until I don't know, until you get results back that tell you what it is. And,
I go for my doctor's appointment this week. We'll find out.
facts.
And I'm
Okay.
definitely gonna voice that to them, like to him, like I am not a fan of this stuff, whatever this is. Like,
No,
yeah.
but that's real, Trent. It's your body, and though they can express like, "Hey, we're gonna give you this medicate." Like, for example, if you had a pain injury and it's like, "Oh, we're gonna give you this morphine for the pain," and you say, "Nah, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna stay off it. Nah, nah, I don't want the morphine."
Well,
Yes,
that would have been a different time if I didn't have to like go to work or anything like that. Fuck yeah, load me up with it. Woo!
no, no, but in context, right? Like again, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. Like I know we're making a joke, and it's like because like once you hit that morphine into the IV, and then your ass is just into la la land. But I'm not. I'm talking about the motherfuckers who are like, nah, nah, I don't want to have I don't want to have my brain basically like put on ice. Like I don't want my brain to just like basically go to its lowest form of operating capacity based on the drugs y'all just gave me. Like it's like a catch 22 in a sense, but at the same time it's not, because like you have the like, granted, if you were that strong son of a gun, like, nah, I'm not taking the morphine, like Clint Eastwood or one of the motherfuckers who, in how they are portrayed, those heroes and shit in those movies. Nah, just tie my arm up where the bullet was shot, just tie it up with a
I
sleeve.
know of a straight
You know what
edge
I
guy
mean?
who rehabbed a broken, like fractured skull without any drugs. So, like, there you go.
That's a savage, but that see
That's
that's
fucking stupid.
what it is. It's like
I
he's
mean, principles are one thing, but like, god damn, there's limits.
facts. I mean,
I don't know.
in
That's
any
just me though.
no, of course, and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying. I hope, like to the listeners, I'm not saying it like trying to say it like, yo, don't take any medication. But what I'm saying is, it sucks that in context, like as far as finding cures versus just finding medication, something to dull a situation versus something that literally like. And although everyone's like a grain of sand, how we're all different or whatever. But it's like, I don't know, man. It just, there are some commonalities within us, certain things that more or less work for all of us. So it's like, we got to try to focus on developing that, because it can't just always be about bread and about money and shit. Because it's like, at that point, yes, I know, like, the certain conspiracy theorists can be like, oh, they're not, hey, Graham, they're not even looking for a cure. And it's like, what? Okay, shit. If we're playing that game, then hey, but people who have head injuries like you or whatever the case is, they need the truth and to know everything that's supposed to happen to them. Granted, the people who are giving it to them have that information, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I defer to the people who have studied the shit longer than me, and I hope that they're on the up and up. But that's it, right? You gotta hope, but on the other hand, that this shit's happening at the same time. So I think it's a fine line you have to walk with it. Like a lot of things, you just have to know when they're trying to push some bullshit on you, and then know when it's like, okay, this is like something that's going to actually help me in this situation. You know what I mean? Like right now, I'm in the middle zone with this right now. I haven't had another seizures and all that. I haven't had, like, I've gotten a bit better with the meds, but still, it's just like, I'm not a fan of them.
And it's dope because, like, don't get me wrong, Trent. Like, I feel like sometimes, like, those things unfortunately just happen at random, whether it's due to whatever.
I hope, and
whatever.
actually at the same time, not hope it was at random like that. Like, I hope they find, like, oh, because of this, and like can point to it, sort of thing. But
that's the thing.
I'm not holding my fucking breath.
No, and that's the beauty. Like, the beautiful part about it is when you go to your appointment, hopefully they'll give you, they should be able to give you certain information. Hey, this part of your brain had high activity, da 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 da, based on the MRI we just did, da 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 da. They should be able to give you some type of factual shit like that. Though they might not be like to pinpoint and be like, oh, you had a high stress level, or oh, you were thinking about this and that somehow triggered. Like, maybe they might not, you know what I mean? But at the same time, as crazy as it sounds, like, for people who are like, let's just say I'm 14, 15 years old, Trent, and I'm drinking consistently from 14 up till my age now, 29, just for example. That can affect one's brain. And the fact that one didn't have any type of seizure all up until this point, like, not saying you, I'm saying just anybody. I'm saying, like, granted, if you can have 15, 16 years of drinking, undeveloped mind, et cetera, et cetera, and not have any major brain malfunctions, that is like a dang near miracle. You know what I mean? Like,
the fact that I've made it this long is a goddamn near miracle.
But it's like,
because of what you were just saying there.
But Trent, I'm not, and it's not even to say you. I'm saying it could be me, because shit, my first high school party, I got I ain't snitching, but it's like me and my homie Darnell, me and my nigga BBD, you know what it is. Anyway, we was out here tripping and shit, all types of vodka and shit. We was tripping, but man, I should not have been doing that. I'm just giving that gem to the people because I'm just simply saying it's never the right. Like, you got to try not to have yourself, you know what I mean? If you don't want to, like, don't have yourself on no path that you're super young and you think like, yeah, I'm gonna impress people, and then all of a sudden, like, at the end of the day, you're the one who suffers the X, Y, and Z brain problem or whatever. You know what I mean? It sucks.
Really, like, a handful of things I regret doing, and one of them is definitely when I was smoking, like, cigarettes back in the day. I regret doing that, but that's about it. Like that, and doing some other, like, hard drugs, but everything else has just been like, yeah, it is what it is. It was a time. It was interesting.
No, and that's the thing. As wild as it is, it's not even about regrets, bro. I'm looking at it more from a standpoint of, okay, at the time, like, as wild as it is, bro, because I remember, like, everything. So it's like, at the time, was I mature enough to understand what was going on, what was not going on, who I'm talking to, who I'm not talking to, what type of people are in my circle? Like, all these different questions you have to ask yourself as you're, let's just say, 4 or 5 when you're actually conscious, or 6 or whatever, and then up to your grown age now, and you're saying, like, because you can, for example, you can be 35 and still be making quote unquote foolish decisions. So, like, our age doesn't really mean nothing, but it's like, only you really.
You can be 70 and be making dumbass decisions. So there you go.
But it goes to the point of, obviously, no one being perfect, human error, all that type of shit. But I don't know, man. I'm just looking at it from a standpoint of, if we're making these executive decisions and shit when we're 13, 14, 15, and then we have like a lifelong, like we just stay doing that from 14 on until we more or less pass away. That's wow. That's like a choice that we're choosing to do, good or bad, quote unquote, good or bad. Like whether it's quote unquote, oh, I go to the gym, I eat healthy until you're 70, 90, whatever. Or I'm clearly only going to eat McDonald's and fast food and stuff like that until I'm 90. Like, but I just feel like to not have any major brain malfunctions in that long span of time, bro, like that's not even, again, not pinpointing on you. I'm talking about any of us young men to have like 15, 16 years of not really having brain malfunctions. That shit is legit, considering a lot of us are starting doing certain things that like we much younger than we should. But hey, sometimes life, puts you in a situation where you got to mature faster than others,
I hear you. I hear you. But on another note, it's legalization day in Canada today. So October 17th, 2018 was when they legalized weed in Canada. So that was so today is 3 years to the date they did it. And here we are. What a world we're living in. Fuck. It's something we talk about at the store every day. It's just like, could you like about 5-6 years ago, like, or even 10 years ago, talk about being in high school and making bad decisions. Like, when you're selling weed, when you're back in high school and smoking it, when it was like super, super, super illegal and all that. Could you imagine like where it'd be now sort of thing with it all? Like, it's crazy. It's just crazy.
It's beautiful in the sense that if you're a part of that lifestyle and enjoy doing these things, you don't have to necessarily worry about the trifles and the small problems that turn into big problems, aka you're not driving or nothing, you're just walking down the street burning a J. It's a beautiful sunny day when it's illegal. Beautiful sunny day, and a cop harasses you and gives you all types of big ticket or whatever the case is, right? And you're thinking to yourself, damn, if I can walk down the street with a cigarette, walk down the street with some type of alcohol just in a different bottle or whatever, I could be on my way. But this little plant is, it's terrible. It's a gateway drug. To now, fast forward, you can be doing that exact same thing, damn near smoking a bong. Well, hey, you might have to be careful because they might. I know first day, like even though like it doesn't matter if I do it or don't do it. What I'm saying is, it's funny because on the first day of legalization 3 years ago, bro, like I seen a random white dude like back in my hometown, Hamilton, Canada, bro. He was standing on the corner with one of the biggest bombs I ever seen, hitting that bitch. One of his homies was like, I think one of his homies was behind him, bumping like Cypress Hill and shit. And I was just like, see, I think he's bumping Dr. Green Thumb or something like that. I was like, see, this is what it's about. But at the same time, hey, bro, if you're part of that lifestyle and you enjoy these things, like that's the beauty of it, because you get to just enjoy it out of freedom, where it's like, yo, we good, we out here living. You know what I mean?
And it's not even just like just that style of it too. Like the fact that now like these elderly people and like people in their middle age and stuff like that can come to like my store or whatever else and say, hey, I need something to help with this or that sort of thing. And it's like, I can't give you medical advice, but like, this could help you with this sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man.
It's kind of nice that way, where it's just like it's destigmatized, but it's not so much like they don't have to go to like some sketchy motherfucker's house and missing a tooth and whatever. He's like, I got some weed for you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it might be that boo-boo tree, but at the same time,
so in that respect too. I really love that, like the legal, like the fact that it's become legalized is making people like, hey, this is an alternative out here to taking pain meds like we were saying, or like taking sleeping meds like we're like sleeping meds or whatever the fuck else. Like, hey, I'll give this a try or give this a try.
I was gonna say, bro, because on the flip side of things, when you went in, like, I don't know if you have to. I know you have to discuss your history, and sometimes they'll ask you, hey, do you smoke? Da 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 da. And you might say, yeah, I smoke, but you might not tell them what, right? You might, when you say, yeah, I smoke, that you might just say, yeah, I smoke. And they might say, okay, you smoke cigarettes, da, da, da. But they don't understand that for the seizures and stuff, they could have been said, hey, why don't we give this guy a prescription of CBD and see how this helps? Why are we going right to whether it's pills or whether it's some type of liquidized, whatever, like, synthetic, whatever. It's like, why don't we try to prescribe them? I'm just saying, as the fact that we're on this topic, but I'm saying that like how we're talking about kind of medical benefits from cannabis. It's
There's a
like
point to be made.
it's as if people just bypass that all completely, and it's as if they haven't been doing medical research for how many years, whether it's 20 years, like quarter, like half a century, whatever. But I'm saying like they've been doing research on this too now, and so now that it's legalized, specifically in Canada, where we have all types of cancer centers and stuff, and it's crazy because the fact that like people I know and stuff be working in cancer centers and stuff like that, they have these types of pamphlets in these different clinics within the hospitals when these patients unfortunately have to come in. Hey, are you interested in potentially looking into cannabis as a, granted it gets to the later stages and the pain's getting a bit more unbearable, et cetera, et cetera. Shit's real,
Not
bro.
just pain, but like appetite, like giving them an
Yeah.
appetite, giving them fucking like like a quality of life, like even just something to enjoy, like for a
Being able
bit,
to
like a
laugh a little bit.
buzz, just to
Yep.
enjoy for a bit. Like, man, like, and it's not going to kill them either. It's not like it's fucking pain pills or anything like that. The worst that's going to happen is they're gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, in a real way. Yeah. I don't know, man. It just
So
it's something to think about. It's dope that like obviously like legalization, and again, if you're a part of that lifestyle, like that's what, like I'm saying lifestyle, like it's some, but anyway, like if you enjoy doing that, if you're a part of that community, it's just about saying it's dope that specifically in Canada and obviously certain states in the US, but bro, like people get to enjoy their lives the way they genuinely want to. You just want to go out and burn something down or whatever the case is, and just walk in a park with your dog. You can do that without having to be harassed and why do you smell like that? And a random officer or whatever running up on you hating or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like it's a different type of freedom for like if you're part of that community. So
So
enjoy
there's
that,
two
bro.
instances I can recall when I realized that. It was the one I was hanging with my friend and I was like, we're gonna go smoke a joint. She's like, well, where are we gonna go to smoke this and shit? And like her and I had smoked back in the day, like back when we were in high school and whatnot. And I was like, what do you mean? Where are we gonna smoke this? She's like, well, we gotta go find somewhere to smoke. It's like, we're gonna walk down the street smoking the fucking thing. And she's like, what? I was like, it's legal. And she was like, right. Forgot about that. So a situation like that. And then there was another time I was out walking with my friend. We're out in a public trail and he's drinking a beer, but he's trying to keep it hidden and stuff because there's people walking and stuff. I was like, what are you doing, man? He's like, dude, what you're doing is not illegal. What I'm doing is illegal. Drinking in public like that is him doing legal. I could be like you said, full on giant bong walking around. Hey, how's it going? That's fine. It's crazy. It blew my
Yeah.
mind. I was like, it made me stop and go, wait a minute, what? That's hilarious. Like just how the tables have turned like that.
It's a different time in our culture, man. And it's like, but it also, I don't know, man, it kind of going a little bit deeper. It kind of makes me a little nervous too, because not about marijuana in any way, but we're altering. I feel like we're doing so many alterations to it's like we're altering. We're just when a problem arises, like we more or less alter the way society is to that problem, or to make that problem go away. And it's like one would think, okay, that's a good thing, right? But when it's any single quote unquote problem that is created, meaning anybody can just say something, hey, I don't like I don't like knocking on doors before I open them. And next thing you know, like we have some type of like you can just open people's home doors and not have to knock or whatever. It is like just on some. I'm making a goofy example, but I'm saying like kind of on some where does it end type stuff. Not with the marijuana, but I'm talking about just because again, if these are proven medical benefits, different things like that. But when certain things are introduced, it gets a little tricky, bro. I feel like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying just in 2021, but I'm saying in years past, I feel like we opened Pandora's box on a lot of things. I don't know how you feel about those types of subjects, but just throwing an idea out there, you know?
I think 9/11 did that, man. Like a lot of like the hardcore security and surveillance and stuff like that. But like all that's been happening for fucking like since the Cold War. So like it's hard to even pinpoint like something like that as like this is where, but it is, you can at some points like this is where it ramped up because X, Y, and Z, and they use this as justification and whatnot. So I don't know, man. It's just it's the concept of not letting a good what was the phrase? There was a quote by a politician. I can't remember who it was, and I can't remember the quote exactly, but it's like never letting a crisis go to waste, basically. Like
okay,
for using it for whatever reasons, for your public perspective, perspection change, whatever. Politics is a fucking slimy business. We all know that. It's ridiculous, and it doesn't have to be that way, but this is the way it is, and it has been. It doesn't have to be that way, but yet here we are, and that's all we can talk about is how it is, basically. I don't know what else to say. I was trying to go somewhere else with that, but I'm really high, so I'm trying to grab back onto the point I was trying to make there. Shit, but like it's hard to pinpoint just like one specific spot where you could say like this is because of this and all that. And honestly, like, where does it end? I don't know, man. Like, where do these problems end is my question. Is like, I'd rather see a lot of these problems go away first if we have to alter things than
that's what I'm saying.
We then not alter things and just have these problems get worse and worse and worse, and then
we have so
many society as it is too, right?
We have so many different like services to like snow removal, this, that, and the third, but we don't have services that take food that's still good into like homeless shelters and shit like that from grocery stores.
Yes.
It's not even about quote unquote just homeless as if it's like food that's expiring, but I mean food that, let's just say, it has 4 days left on the expiry, and you bring it to the homeless shelter that day or 5 days or whatever. Someone that unfortunately people who quote unquote have the means won't buy it. They'll buy something fresher. Hey, that's society. But just, I'm saying, giving that as an example, we have so many different services. And I'm telling you, Trent, if I could create a position in the city, basically like on some just the problem solver, like that's just what that title would be or something, where it's just like you genuinely come up with the most logical and cost-effective ways. And I know somebody might say, well, Graham, they already have people like that. Well, clearly they're not doing their great job, because it's like, and it's not about being straight up disrespectful to that person, but I'm saying it in the sense of, it's not just on one person anyway. It has the whole system has to flow so that these problems are taken care of. But it's like, yo, what we doing? Especially if you're in like an extremely fortunate city like a Toronto where I'm at now. It's like, yo, it's different, because you'll see people where it's cold out. And don't get me wrong, certain places in the States, how you people out there listening might see, like they got like big spikes underneath like underpasses or whatever, or overpasses or whatever.
That shit's fucked up.
The homeless can't be sleeping there and shit. And it's like, what we doing, yo? What we doing?
It's just criminalizing the homeless, and it's the consequences of like non-participation in capitalism, basically, as I see it. Like, you don't participate in the game, well, you get to sleep under a fucking overbridge. Well, you want to sleep under the overbridge. We're going to put spikes under there, or put these big fucking rocks underneath these things, or put like bars in the benches and stuff, so you can't sleep on park benches and stuff, instead of,
just some
housing, public subsidized public housing. These concepts, like, bro.
It's on some asshole shit. And we have so many different, like, whether it's abandoned buildings or whatever the case is, in the sense of being able to like restructure them into like certain facilities. And it's not about trying to force people into these facilities or these homes or nothing, but it's like at least having the option there, considering these people, granted, they're actually assisted to a point of clarity or whatever. They can be structuring, quote unquote, structural people within society. Granted, they choose to do that. Now, granted, they just want to come in and have a warm place to stay. That could be okay too. Like, but it shouldn't be a matter of them having to push people down who are down on their, quote unquote, down on their luck, so to speak, pushing them to an even worse position. And then on top of that, being like, yo, it's your fault or whatever, or whatever. And it's like, nah, bro, like I missed a payment on something. And next thing I know, my life is spiraling out of this, that, and it's just, I don't know, man. We have so many different issues that like could be quote, I feel like fixed with like a smaller amount of money than most think, but it's as if, but again, that's why, granted, I'm fortunate to build up like wealth and different things of that nature, bro. I promise you, like I'm basically putting my money where my mouth is. I'm kind of sort of doing it on an extremely small scale now, but it's like, nah, like before it's all said and done, bro, I want to achieve so much more, yo. But
honestly, like for what it is, if you want, if money isn't everything when it comes to doing these things, it really depends on putting the time and effort in and having like a good support system as well to help do these things. Because really, like I've seen like some crazy things happen with barely any money to put towards these things, and they've fed homeless and they've like done all these things. Like there's this one video I've seen on, it circulates online. These guys, I don't promote this or whatever. They
Yeah, I
went
don't like
around this store and
filming with stuff.
shoplifted like a whole bunch of food and stuff, and
Sad.
like
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
yeah,
You're like
and
making
then they put
sandwiches
them
and
in like,
shit.
yeah,
They're like,
with the Robin Hood theme on the back,
yeah, that's
and they put them
hilarious,
in
bro.
like bags, and then they distribute them to the homeless people. Like
Bro, but hear me
that's
out.
like the perfect example of like
But
not like saying like do that sort of thing, but like there's things you can do with that as long as you have like mutual aid, as long as you have enough like support with that, enough like a little bit of capital to start up with that, you
that's what I
can
was
do
gonna
some
say, bro.
crazy fucking things.
It's that little bit of capital you're talking about. But I'm saying, bro, I'm trying to make things, and it's not about saying, oh, yo, just because you don't have it, don't do it. But what I'm saying is, I'm trying to assist on a little bit of a bigger level. When I say bigger level, again, it's unfortunate, but you kind of do need money because you need to be able to pay for different, whether it's permits to build these homes and permits to build these, to have these food facilities. And as you know, get into a situation where you have a head chef, you have 12 different like under chefs or whatever, so that you can make the 7,000 meals for every month or whatever the case is, like that you're trying to, because once you get to that point where you have facilities where people can come eat, get clean, they don't have to stay here if they don't want to, and ain't no rules or whatever. But it's like, I say ain't no rules in the sense of course we can't have nobody being violent and stuff, but I'm just like a little basic ground plan of, granted I get the fortune to do it. I'm telling you, bro, like, because it's like we have to look at it from a standpoint of we can feed people and that's okay, but people who are quote unquote homeless need a quote unquote home, bro. They don't need necessarily food in that aspect, right? Like they need food, but the home is the first grander issue one needs to tackle. And I'm not, because again, I seen that similar video you're talking about. Buddy was making they had gloves, they were wearing gloves while they were making the sandwiches, like keeping it clean and shit. And I saw the same video and I was like, yo, these guys are wilding. But at the same time, I was like, yo, I want to like, if it's willed that I'm in my destiny that I'm gonna achieve that, like it's not even about saying me. I'm saying like you said, the team, the support system you're talking about. If we have a group of people that would be like, yo, I'm rocking with you. They might need a little bit of bread to help with their services. You know what I mean? So it just sucks, but money is a tool that one needs to unfortunately solve these problems.
I
You know?
guarantee there's some people down in your neck of the woods who are in that same ilk, and I know it because I'm friends with them too.
Yeah. Like for example, how many people we know from like the Laurier days or whatever who fortunate enough to graduate their like they went to some type of law school or whatever, or they might went to some type of accounting school or whatever. I'm just saying in the sense of to be able to get these people and have them assist you or whatever. Now that they might have made a little name for themselves or whatever. I'm just saying, like you said, building that network, building that social structure, that support system that will propel you forward. That's so key, and it is very doable, like you just said. Like especially in this city, like where a lot of people are thinking like-minded, but unfortunately, a little bit of bread is needed. But it is what it is, like sometimes you got to bite the bullet and be like, all right, you know what I mean? Let me make the most of this situation and do what I can with my little means. But
Pretty much.
but I got big goals and I'm working towards them. You know what I mean? So I am glad for that part of it too, right? Just a challenge. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Time.
But I guess that kind of is on some like that's kind of on some like understanding that we're still young enough to change our ways and actually achieve what we're trying to do. Like a lot of people may be thinking, Trent, yo, I'm 30, or yo, I'm 31, or blah blah blah, or yo, I'm 42. And it's like, bro, if you're still able-bodied and shit, you can actually like walk around and function, and you have a conscious mind. You take your time and develop your plan, and slowly but surely work towards it, man. Because
it's on my wall right there. Nothing's over till you're underground.
Facts, man. Like that's kind of where that's kind of the approach I'm taking. Like every time I wake up, yo, okay, another opportunity to get it, let's get it. And it's like it's not even on some go. Like you got to appreciate the moments too, right? You can't just. It's not for me. It's not always about yo. I got to work. Because at that point, it's like I need to live. We need to make sure we live. Like actually enjoy experiences with a significant other. If you have a pet dog, enjoy experience with go holler at Rupert. Tell him to let's go for a walk.
Like, I know what you mean. No, like
yeah,
it's the balance. It's all about finding that balance between getting the shit done and maintaining your own self, basically. Whether that be living in the moment, whether that be like doing whatever else. But yeah, you and I both are on the same wavelength with that about enjoying the moment and relishing in the now because this is all we have.
And whether you're single or whether you're with somebody, rock with who you rock with wholeheartedly. Like, don't be on no whole ass shit where you just like, and it's not even about no judgment shit. But I'm saying if you're a man and you work out flats or work and you're married up and all that, bro. Not every post on Instagram has to be shirtless. If you're a young lady and you married up, not every post on Instagram needs to be of your buttocks wearing underwear. Respectfully, you're just advertising for somebody else to try to buy you at that point. Love yourself and be with that person you're with, or if you're single, love yourself and love yourself wholeheartedly, bro. You don't need to be impressing nobody. Like, live for you. Enjoy the shit you like. If you like playing 4D fucking chess, do that shit. You don't need to be out here trying to impress people by trying to be cool and I like rapping and I like all the strip clubs and nah, bro. If you enjoy that other stuff, do that, man. Like, it's just so many people are wearing the mask of like I gotta impress such and such, and it's like you want to now ruin something amazing you have at home to try to impress the internet versus the internet ain't even real. Let Instagram shut down like it did the other week and watch how everybody's lives turn upside down. What? I can't post? Oh my goodness. No. Or Facebook shuts down. Oh my goodness. I can't share the news about this, and this. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, just tap in with your actual family then. Use that time to embrace it. Like, I don't know, man. And don't get me wrong. It ain't about being pretentious or trying to act like because we all have our flaws. I'm just saying, remember, love yourself, yo. Like,
I think the most important thing you said out of all of that was there's not try to impress anybody. Like, who gives a fuck what other people think? Like, honestly, like, live for you and do you as long as you're not harming somebody else and not fucking somebody else over to survive. Like, do you, Trent, man.
That's the love you. I would only 100% live for yourself and don't try to impress nobody. But I would say love yourself is the most important shit I said, only because, bro, that's how you don't hurt people and don't try to screw people over, because you actually love yourself. You don't have a reason to fuck around and try to screw somebody out some money. You good. You know that you're working with some integrity and you're at your little job and you're just trying to flex on and at your job, and then next thing you know, you start investing and you're building yourself. You don't have to hate on nobody because you love yourself already. So that's but yeah, you're right. And we don't need to try to impress no one too, because it's like, fuck, bro. Why you the only person you got to try to impress is that motherfucker in the mirror, and just be like, yo, I'm trying to do better today. Let's get it. You know what I mean? And impress your ass, you know?
To quote Hemingway, there's nothing noble about being superior to your fellow man. True nobility comes from being superior to your former self.
And shit, just like that. Maybe we should end it on that gem.
You know there we go.
That's a gem right there. But I know before we leave, I know you wanted to do a quick shout out to my man from the Tragically Hip.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Jeez, yeah, Gord Downey. This is also the day he died 4 years ago too. So rest in peace to Gord. We miss him every goddamn day.
Icon, bro. Just a standout individual. You know what I mean? So
there'll never be his ilk again. He is how the Brits look at Freddie Mercury is how we as Canadians look at Gord Downey. Basically, that's the easiest way I can put it these days. I have a video. We got a video on my channel. Have another tribute about it. I did a couple of years back. So
hey, bro,
that one I go into a bit more detail with it.
Yeah, rock out with that. And again, you know what I mean? It's like, understand that dash in the middle, that's just the most important part of it. Birth, death, but that dash in the middle, make that shit count. Yo, I'm Graham.
I'm Trent.
And this is another episode of Ultra Fly Talk. We out with this bitch. Yo.